Picture this. A woman has had a really crappy day, ends up getting stuck in an elevator, only to find herself trapped with Jason Baker. You know who I'm talking about, the hockey star.
No way. I cannot wait to hear how this unfolds.
So the first part of the story, a tough day and an elevator encounter. Before we even get to the elevator, to make her feel so utterly spent and irritated.
Her day had been a string of annoyances. First, she had to stay up all night dealing with her sister's kids. They were sick. And then the babysitter canceled last minute.
I can already feel the headache.
As if that wasn't enough, she didn't even have time to grab breakfast or lunch. She spent her afternoon chasing down one problem after another. Then the subway broke down. She got drenched in the rain, and to top it all off, she had to walk up 5 flights of stairs because the elevator in her building was acting up. She was starving. She was cranky. She was just done.
When she first stepped into the elevator and saw the man standing there, what was her initial impression of him?
She didn't know who he was, but he looked familiar. Probably one of those guys who was always featured in the news. And the first thing she thought was that he looked completely out of place.
How so?
Well, for one thing, he was dressed in a suit that looked like it cost more than her rent. And he had this air of confidence around him. But he also looked a bit annoyed, and he kept checking his phone. So she thought he was probably one of those rich, important people who was not used to being inconvenienced.
As the elevator doors closed and the two of them found themselves alone, what were the thoughts running through her head?
She was too tired to even attempt to make small talk. She just hoped that the ride would be quick and uneventful, so she could finally get to her apartment and collapse.
So here comes the twist. The elevator gets stuck, and panic sets in. Describe what happened when the elevator abruptly came to a halt.
So first of all, there was a horrible grinding noise, like metal scraping against metal, which made her blood run cold. And then the lights went out, all of them. So she was plunged into complete darkness.
Damn, I hate when that happens.
She actually stumbled forward and hit her knee on the wall.
Ouch.
And then the elevator dropped a little bit, with a really loud bang. And then it was just still. But the worst part was the realization that she was stuck in a dark elevator with no way out.
So how did she and the stranger react to the fact that they were stuck in an elevator?
She was in full panic mood. Like her breathing got really shallow, and she was sweating and her heart was pounding. She kept pressing the emergency button, but nothing happened. Her phone didn't have any service, so she was like cut off from the rest of the world.
Poor thing. And the man?
He was remarkably calm. He had a deep voice. He tried to reassure her that everything was going to be fine, and he used his phone as a flashlight, but he didn't shine it in her eyes. He just leaned against the wall and waited patiently.
So what happened to the two of them after they were stuck in the elevator for a while?
At first, they were both kind of tense, not knowing what to do. And then he started asking her about her work, which was a nice distraction.
Did that make her feel more at ease?
Yes. Once she started talking about her day, they ended up having a pretty deep conversation about their careers and their aspirations. The mood softened. They began to realize they weren't so different after all.
Now we're getting to the good part. The part where she realizes who she's stuck with. So how did she figure out that the stranger was a hockey star?
It was when they were making small talk. He mentioned something about an upcoming game, and then a bunch of championships. And she was like, wait a minute, you're not just any guy.
She put 2 and 2 together?
Exactly. She recognized his last name, and then she remembered seeing him on TV with the championship trophy. She couldn't believe she was stuck in an elevator with a professional athlete.
So who was the man she ended up stuck in an elevator with?
Jason Baker. He was the star center for the Wilcox Wombats, and had been for several years.
He must have been a big deal.
He was. He was not only a multiple-time champion, but he was also known for being one of the best goal scorers in the league. He had an incredible record. But despite all of that, he was still surprisingly humble.
What was her reaction when she realized that the stranger was a famous hockey player?
At first, she was completely starstruck. She couldn't believe that she was standing next to a hockey legend, and she was suddenly very aware of how she looked and sounded.
Did she get nervous?